In my last video, I spoke about the 3 important things or considerations to take when it comes to investing. And I think a lot of you found a lot of value from that video, considering the number of people that actually stay to watch the entire video. And I appreciate that and thank you. But here's something that I want to share with you in this one. And this is a question that I've been asking myself lately. And the question really comes down to, how much is enough? How much do we really need? Why are we working? Why are we investing? Why are we saving? Why are we doing all these things that we do so that we can have enough money? What is enough money to you? And I'm talking about you in particular. Think about your lifestyle. Think about what you're spending money on. Think about your goals. Think about your future, right? I'm talking about not just the future in the next 10 years, but in the next 30, 40 years. What is that future? What do you want it to look like? Because if you can really dial it down and set that goal that is personal to you, you would have enough reasons to go after it. This is not what somebody else is doing. This is not what somebody else has achieved. This is something that you want to achieve. In my last video, I mentioned to you, if you choose to invest in something, how much risk are you willing to take? Because if you take on too much risk, you won't be able to sleep at night. If you invest in something that is not sustainable, yeah, you might make a lot of money in the short term, but in the long term, well, is that thing sustainable? What if I made $1 million tomorrow because I took on the risky stock like the Roaring Kitty, right? GME, right? And then I make $1 million, but then next 2 years, it's down to nothing. What have I achieved in that sense? This same question, right, is something that I need you to ask yourself, like, how much is enough? And what is that amount? Is it $1 million? Is it 2 million? Is it 10? Is it $1 billion, right? It all depends. It's all personal things. In order to understand this better, I think it comes down to understanding what we value. What do you value in your life right now? Because yes, we want to invest. Yes, we want to save. We want to budget. Yes, we want to make sure that we are not spending more than we earn. We want to make sure that whatever we earn and save is enough to last us a lifetime. But the question is, yes, a lifetime doing what? A lifetime living life with $10 million in the bank account, but we still don't feel like we're enjoying our lives? Or with $1 million in the bank account, but then we're enjoying our life? And then at what point do you actually get to enjoy this life? I know there are a lot of questions that are floating that I'm bringing up, and these are questions that I want you to ask yourself. Because if at the end of the day, if we do not feel like we've accomplished anything, the money in the bank account will not tell us that. The money is just a paper. Today is here, tomorrow is gone. And by the way, if you had that $10 million in the bank account and tomorrow you die, God forbid, what happens to that money? Right? What has it achieved? What has it done for people? What has it done for you? So rather than chasing that number, why don't we chase the thing that we actually value? Now, there has to be some reasonable expectations in going into this, because in as much as you value maybe traveling, maybe having nice things, we also have to be reasonable. There has to be a balance to this, because you can't just go all out spending like there's no tomorrow, right? YOLO. You know what I mean? You only live once. You don't want to live like that, because what would happen is you wouldn't plan for tomorrow. You would spend all the money you earn today, and then tomorrow comes and there's nothing for you. And you're at an age where you are unable to work or earn more. So we have to plan for those. It's okay to have a balanced approach. Now, I'm going to share 3 things with you. 3 simple things I want you to think about. Think about your life in stages. The 3 stages would be the retirement stage. Think about your advanced life stage, where in this case you are maybe in your 40s to 50s, and the current stage you are in, if you are in your 30s and 40s, and maybe even in 20s as well. If you could divide it into 3 phases like that. Currently, what are the things you're doing to earn more if you're in your 30s? If you're in your 40s, what are you doing to earn more while making sure you're adequately preparing for that next stage. Because if you're in your 30s and 20s, you somehow have enough time to prepare for the next two stages, which would be the advanced stage life, right? In the 40s, late 40s, 50s, and the 60s is the next stage, and 70s. So if you're in your 30s and 20s, you have plenty of time to plan for the stage. And the good thing is, whatever you do now is compounding. In this case, if you're investing, you buy whatever form of investment you choose, it doesn't matter. It would compound. And by the way, just so I mentioned, this investment can also be in yourself, whether it's through acquiring a skill, whatever skill you acquire, whatever investment you put in place now, if it is maintained well, would compound to pay you dividends in your 40s and 50s and to your 60s, into those two at the advanced life stage and the retirement stage. Second thing, for your advanced life stage, in this case, if you, again, this is for someone that is not yet at that stage, what do you plan to do before you retire? For example, do you want to make sure your kids are done with college? Do you want to make sure that your house is fully paid off? Do you want to make sure that you take care of those big expenses before you get into that retirement stage? Because if those are your goals, then you would need to prioritize those things for that moment so that you can get into retirement and not carry a lot of loans or burden into retirement. The reason why this is important is by breaking it down in stages, you're able to focus on what is important right now. And rather than trying to target a specific number, in as much as it's good to have a number in mind, remember, numbers are only made up based on the present value of money. So your $1 million today will not mean it will be worth anything tomorrow. Think about people in Nigeria, for example. If you're watching this video from Nigeria, or you grew up in Nigeria like me, inflation is at what, 33% or something like that? So whatever money you have saved up is literally worth less at this point. So your $1 million of 10 years ago, assuming that was your target 10 years ago, is worth nothing now. So that begs the question, what is really important to you? And what do you want your life to look like when you get into those stages as I've broken them down? Think about this. Just wanted to share this with you real quickly. If you found value in this one, please don't forget to drop a like, and I'd love to see you in the next one.